Hello, my name is Justin Larshite, and this is my week 2 discussion. Discuss the journal article and any information you found useful, surprising, interesting. I found the journal article very interesting. Through another course that I've taken during this program, personnel psychology, we learned in depth about job analysis, and going through that course and learning the various aspects of job analysis, it was somewhat, there was an underlining apparent notion that it was outdated. The business environment of today, as the author spoke about, is ever changing. It's a lot. There's a lot more emphasis on teams, being able to have the ability to conflict resolve and to create and work well with others and be flexible, are very are on some instances, not all, but some instances, a lot more important than just the hard um, the hard skills that they spoke about. The knowledge and the skills and the abilities, the hard stuff that aren't very flexible when working with other people, in an intragroup situation or an intergroup situation. So that was one thing that I liked about it. Um, the need for strategic job analysis to supplement for an ever-changing business environment, as the author spoke about, is very important to stay competitive. If you're not competitive as a company, you're going to be left behind. I really liked that part in the journal or in the article, how the author spoke about the different types of strategies and how those different types of strategies a company may take influences whether or not you should utilize a traditional job analysis or a strategic job analysis. To go further, um, when he talked about defender, prospector, or analyzer strategies that companies can take, and he didn't go into analyzer. However, the defender strategy, or if the company strategy is more of um, a is the defender strategy is more of a situation where a company is more task oriented. They don't really need a whole lot of differentiation between tasks and the ability to move from jobs within a company or tasks within a company, that they hold strict to one job, that one job requires a certain specific set of tasks, and that the need to be flexible and interchange between tasks and positions isn't needed. Therefore, in that type of situation, or that type of defender strategy that a company may take, a traditional job analysis would be more suitable. However, he spoke about the prospector strategy, and how a strategic job analysis is more applicable for a prospector strategy, because it can help predict and forecast the future influences and forces. Because a prospector strategy centers around the ability, or not the ability, but the strategy, for lack of better other words, to always be to always adapt, to be flexible, to understand the influences of the market and how those influences can alter your path, and what your missions and objectives were. So that was very, very interesting. I thought that was really cool how he linked that up, considering reading throughout that article, I was kind of questioning myself, well, when would it be more applicable to use the strategic job analysis instead of a traditional job analysis? So I found that very, very interesting. Um, Another one was the needs to be a cross between competency modeling and strategic job analysis in order to provide thorough job description and job specification. The competency modeling was another. thing that we learned about in personnel psychology, and that really resonated with me. Competency is huge, and having the ability and foundation to be competent in many different facets within a company, skill level, ability level, all of that stuff is so critical. It can make you very sought after as an employee. It can make you very versatile within a company structure, and just all around, good things. And so I really liked how he brought in the aspects of having competency modeling reinforced by strategic job analysis can further reinforce the importance and the effectiveness of what you're trying to do for your company. So I thought that was really cool. The need for an environmental analysis is crucial first step of the strategic job analysis. To understand what environment your company will be competing in is vital, and understanding what people you'll need and what training to implement. That's a big first step that a lot of analysis miss, I think. You know, it's very enlightening to me, because not only do you need to have an understanding of your company, what you're doing, what you're creating, the company that you work within, but you also need to have an understanding of the environment the company is in. If you don't have an understanding of the environment, then you have no foreseeable knowledge of how to compete, how to adapt, how to pretty much it, compete and adapt. Those are two very vital skills in order to be strategic, in order to be competitive within and to be successful within the business environments. So yeah, that was really cool. So in conducting a job analysis of a current job in my company, I did an analysis of a field technician, and the goal or objective would be to hire to get the certain data in order to assess a description, to therefore hire employees and develop viable and applicable training programs. Like I said, that the job would be a field technician. What that person does is handles all of the various jobs that are requested, and handles those jobs in a autonomous and safe manner. But there's a lot of more things that go into that. Some of the methods that I had thought about that I would incorporate are the interview method. In order to collect data, I do the interview method. The critical incident technique, I found that fascinating, because in my company, in that position, there's a lot of different variables that come up in all sorts of different jobs. You can never see what's behind the wall until you get into it. There's a lot of different variables that are constantly changing and create situation and incidents that the field technician needs to be able to handle in a safe and effective, not so much efficient, but safe and effective manner. And so I thought about that. The last one was direct observation. I created my company, I started it, and so I did the jobs for a good 8-10 years there. So I have a good understanding of what the jobs entail and what is needed for the jobs in order to be completed properly. So I think I have a good understanding in order to do a direct observation, in order to collect that data necessary to create an applicable job description and job specification. That was the other thing. Job description, the author spoke about being more of a covering the tasks and the responsibilities and the conditions, the work conditions, and things like that. But yet, job specifications was more of the interperson or the intrapersonal things like your skills and abilities and education level and things like that. So that was a cool distinction to understand as well. Lastly, which method of job analysis would you use if you were to create a selection system for a job for a checkout clerk in a supermarket chain? So I would use a traditional job analysis because not much variation in the tasks or need for adaptability and flexibility. Go back and reinforce what the author had spoke about in regards to the strategy model that companies will assume. I would assume, and this is an assumption, I could be wrong because all supermarkets are different and their business models can be different, but I would assume most supermarket chains are more of the defender strategy, which follows task specification operation modeling, in which traditional job analysis is designed for and applicable to. So that's what I would do. Some of the methods that I would use are work method analysis, considering a checkout clerk does a repetitive task without much variation. That work method analysis would allow me to exactly determine the specific tasks they're doing, the time it takes to do their specific tasks, and any variation within that timing of different tasks, and yet I think that would be very applicable because, as I said, that would allow me to get an insight on exactly that the constraints and the needs of that job. Another one would be direct observation to observe how certain processes and tasks are performed. Yeah, I think that would be applicable enough in order to get the right data to then create a job description. So yeah, that is my discussion. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you.